We are going to be doing a blitz, and it's going to be the week before Thanksgiving. Hey, solarpreneurs, today we're going to be talking about the give and take method and how you can use it to sell lights out throughout the end of the year. So if you don't know what that is, you're about to learn and about to take it to another level. So welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better time in the solar industry. We're kicking off the holiday season. We got Halloween right around the corner. Best day for door knockers. So take advantage. There's never been a better time to sell. And at the time of this recording, we know we've got some expiring incentives at the end of the year. Even if you're not selling loan products or ownership, still take advantage of the urgency we've got in solar, because don't be like me. There's times where we had a lot of urgency, where we had expiring incentives that I just didn't treat it with the personal urgency that I should have. So learn from me and go out with a fire under you and close some deals this week. Okay, and so before we get into the topic of this episode, have a very special announcement. We are going to be doing a blitz, and it's going to be the week before Thanksgiving. We haven't made the official announcement yet, so this is just kind of the pre-announcement for it. It will be the 17th through the 22nd, tentatively, may do a weekend before as well. So we're going to have this, it's going to be capped at 20 spots, so you're the first to hear it today in the podcast. So we will include the link below if you're interested in applying. And so check it out. Would love to hop on a call with you. We've got, we're going to be rolling out some pretty exciting news with it, but we've got some special guests coming. We've got people that have 1,000 career installs in solar, and we've got some of the top guys in the industry that are going to be joining on this blitz that you're going to be able to learn and train with. And of course, hang out with yours truly out there. So I'd love to have you. Go apply before spots fill up, and we'll see you the week before Thanksgiving. One of my favorite times to do it because it's before the bulk of the holidays. People are in a buying mood. Out here in California, they just got their highest bill of the year. You know, people usually get their highest bill in September, October here in California. So it's a great time to be out grinding. So let me know if you would like to potentially join us. So that being said, let's jump into the episode. And this is one of my favorite techniques in sales because it just allows you to get so much out of your selling, out of your closing. Okay, and probably the first, I've been doing this probably since I got in sales. You know, it's kind of, some would say, a basic technique. A lot of people don't do it though. And so one of my favorite explanations of it is in Sam Taggart's book. If you've not picked this up, this is one of my favorite books, you know, applies to door-to-door selling, ABCs of closing. Okay, and if you've read this book, there is the section, it's called the discount or deal close. You can go look at D and, you know, get it, ABCs of closing. He goes through A to Z, different closes. A lot of good information in the book. And so I'm going to read from you a little explanation from our guy, Sam Taggart, and think of how you can use this and apply it in solar. And after we get through, make sure you stay till the end, because I'm going to give you a way that you probably haven't thought about to use this little give and take technique. So stay, and then, yeah, you're not going to want to miss that. So here's what he says. He says, naturally, people don't like to be sold. Deals such as buy one, get one free or Memorial Day specials are used to relieve buying pressure and to help people make buying decisions. Everyone gets skeptical when being sold, and they want to know what they're getting the biggest bang for their buck. We constantly validate purchases by checking prices online or by calling a trusted friend expert. There are even times when we won't buy something simply because we think that the product may be better priced in the future. If you get in the habit of give, you won't be an effective closer. Top reps always practice the give and take method. If a customer is asking for a lower price, a free month, waived activations, or so on, and you are willing to do it, you need to ask for something in return. This can be as simple as a banana for the road or a glass of water. My go-to ask is always for referrals. The best way to do this is before you say yes to lowering the price or whatever you do. Make sure to set some ground rules as to what you need in return in order for in order for you to offer the deal. Later, I'll demonstrate what I mean by this and how it can lead to a close simply by doing this the right way. So before we go on, think of that. In your closing, are you someone that's giving away better deals? Are you someone that's giving away the best pricing, that's just dropping your commission and giving customers the farm? If you are, then you need to start thinking, how can you give and take? Because it not only makes you way less money, but it makes you a weaker closer. Okay, something interesting I noticed actually just kind of recently. Our company, they were doing a 6-month promotion where we just gave them 6 months for free without having to do anything. 6 months of free, power, that is. We're selling a PPA, power purchase agreement. And I started noticing, and I didn't do like a long-term study on this. It's just kind of anecdotal evidence. But in my closes, I started realizing that the people that I just brought this up in the close, my closing ratio actually went down over the month that we were doing it. And I was like, that's so weird. You'd think people would be jumping up and down excited that I'm literally giving them 6 months of free power to do this. But I noticed that people weren't really more excited. It wasn't changing the dynamic of the close. It wasn't making them more excited. It wasn't giving me a higher closing ratio. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to bring this up unless I need to use it for give and take. But I'm not even going to bring this up until I'm literally walking out the door. And I started realizing that my closing ratio went up, and it was something kind of like a cherry on top that got them excited as I was leaving the house. Because solar's, in my opinion, right, and what I felt like was happening is solar is already something, especially here in Southern California, that's saving people a lot of money, that's great for them. And sometimes people have a hard time believing that it's as good as we're saying it is. And then to throw in 6 months of power on top of that where they don't have to pay a bill. To me, it was almost like offering them too much, giving them too much, that they felt like, you know what, I'm going to think about this more, or this is way too good. Right. And again, this is just stuff that I realized in a month. Okay, so I don't know, maybe if we did a long-term study on this, who knows? But I think that's a true principle, though. And it's like the book says, if you are in the habit of giving too much away for nothing, it's going to make you a weak closer. You're going to make less money. And I think people are going to walk all over you. Right. And one of my other favorite books, Pitch Anything, should have read that by now, Warren Classic sales book. But he talks about that too, just framing the deal, right? Framing is you're the one in control. And do you think if you're the one in control, are you going to be giving away everything? No, probably not, right? So think of that next time you're in a close and start to use this give and take method. So I'm going to read one more section here, and then I'm going to tell you an unexpected way that I use this recently. There's actually outside of a close that got me extra customers. Okay. So one last little section here. It says, be extremely careful of getting into the habit of giving away the farm. This is the lazy way of closing. Forming this habit actually makes you weak as a closer, and in the long term, you will sell less. It is better to utilize the offering that you were going to give in the first place in order to leverage on deal giving versus giving them a killer deal and then entering into negotiation. By not doing this way, you will really eat into your commissions. Stay true to your values on what you believe is fair. I have walked away from some customers that have flagged me down 1 week later saying they thought about it and want to buy because I had originally told them that if they get this now, I would waive their initial payment, and if they wanted to buy later, I wouldn't do that. I had to stay true to that statement. Remember though, a deal is better than no deal, even if you only make a little on it. The main reason being that it will help you get another name in the area. And if done right, get referrals on it. Sometimes people care too much about the commission versus the number. If you are in the business of winning and selling lights out, don't be afraid to care more about the number versus how much you make on each deal. You will end up selling more deals anyway with that mindset. So that's a great point. And before we get into the little secret way that I was able to use this, just think about that too. Don't be afraid. Like we all know, we need to make what we deserve. But is it better to make less on one customer and they get maybe 4 other customers, or to just be so caught up in making as much as you can on one customer and then maybe having them unhappy and not getting referrals from it. So think about that. I actually have a podcast coming up with a guest that sells lights out. Not going to want to miss that. We'll announce it on the next episode. But sells so many, one of the top reps in solar, if not the top rep. But one of the things he talks about is he's not afraid to sell for lower to get more customers. Okay, and he's not giving things away, right? But he's asking for referrals. He's tying it to what he can get them, and he's keeping his customers happy, and he's selling quantity, right? So I think it's better to sell a lot, get referrals from it, than be so caught up on making a bag on one customer. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some things to chew on. Okay, but here's an unexpected way I use this, and I don't know if a lot of people have done this, but so I'm going to end with this story, and maybe you can try this. So this was a customer that I'd signed up. It'd been about a month, and then he calls me, and he's like, "Hey, you know what, Taylor? My wife, she doesn't want to go through with this anymore. We're gonna have to cancel. I'm sorry." We had everything ready to go. We had permits. We were ready for an install date. The only thing we didn't get yet was the HOA approval. That's what we were waiting on. So of course I'm like, "Oh man, you got to be kidding me." And naturally, when they're that far in the process, my thinking is, you know what, we've done work. So if they really want to cancel, then they should pay a cancellation fee, right? And this is more so, it's like we don't actually want to pay a cancellation fee, but more so we want to use it as leverage to get them to not cancel, right? Because if we can get back in front of them and explain to them, then that's been an effective way to save a lot of deals. And I've done podcasts on that in the past. But short answer is get in front of people as much as you can if they are trying to cancel. Hey, and so I tell this customer, hey, you know what? All right, I'm gonna have to meet up and go through the cancellation form with you. When's a good day to come by? We set an appointment to do that. So I go back last weekend and I'm explaining to him, okay, here's the form we need you to sign. But look, Mr. Customer, unfortunately, the company, they have done a lot of work on this. They pulled a permits, they engineered plans, designs, and so typically at this point, just to be blunt with you, there is an invoice they would send you. And so the last thing we want you guys to do is have to pay an invoice. But I mean, we are a business. We have done a lot of work on it. And, of course, he gets a little frustrated. I've had customers literally like freak out and slam the door when I've said that. But this customer, he's like, upset, but not like pissed off or anything at this point. And I'm like, so yeah, I mean, is there any way we can make this work where instead I'll offer them an additional like discount? I'm like, they told me to come to you, and if we can make it work, then we'd be happy to, rather than you guys losing out, rather than us losing, let's just give you like 3-4 months of no bill. You guys win, you still save money, and then everyone's happy. But this guy, he was dead set. I guess it was more his wife. She was just like absolutely no to the solar and just totally changed her mind. So he's like, no, we can't do it. So I'm like, okay, well, so the amount would usually be this much that you guys would have to pay. But look, I want to help you guys out. So the last thing that we can offer you guys is, even though it didn't work out for you, is if you could get us 3 introductions of people that would be open to hearing us out, then the company is willing to go ahead and waive that fee, in hopes that we can get some more business from it. But we really don't want you guys to have to pay that. So that's the offer that we will make you. How does that sound, Mr. Customer? And right when I said that, it's a whole give and take right there. He, he was less mad, still wasn't happy, but he's like, okay, well, makes sense. Yeah, you really don't want to pay that. You know what? Yeah, I'll find you 3 people next week. And he agreed to get me 3 potential customers. So we turned a cancel into, maybe possibly 3 more customers. And I've done this in the past. This isn't the first time. So it does work. Okay. I have gotten leads, deals from it. But it's a way that probably a lot of people don't think about, right? Maybe some of you have gotten in front of your customers, but it's like, hey, if you're not going to do this, we have invested time. So look, I don't want you to pay. It's the last thing I want you guys to do is have to pay an invoice. But just so we can be square on it and hopefully make some of what we lost on your project back, this is what they're needing. So we can give you a week. Do you think you could get us 3 introductions this week of people that would do it? And a lot of people will say yes to that. So this is a way you can use give and take, and kind of a unique way. So remember this technique. It's not just to be used in deals. We didn't really talk about it as much in your closing process. But if you have people that cancel, you can use this and go save deals today. Maybe not save them, but you can use it to get deals from your cancels. And maybe your deal that canceled, maybe you got 3 deals from that. So now it doesn't hurt so much anymore, right? Hey, so hopefully this helps you think of some creative ways you can use the give and take method. This is extremely powerful, and we'll probably do a future episode on how you can best use it in your appointments as well. But let me know if you enjoyed this type of content today, and please keep the guest suggestions coming. We've got some powerful guests in the lineup. I'm going to make some announcements of them probably in the next episode. So stay tuned, and then please go apply to come on our next Blitz. Would love to hang with you. So we'll see you on the next one. Be great. Go close some deals this week.